Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the European crossover webinar. And take a look at the indices. Actually, in the Nasdaq, we're actually pushing higher. We'll actually roll into that screen right now. And you can see here with the Nasdaq, we're still pushing higher. We'd actually pushed higher yesterday, but look, you can see here that we're closing in close to that 161% extension. And if you look at that, that comes here from the March, looking at the February high to the March lows. 161% extension puts us at 14,918. We're pretty close. We're just a little bit of a spit away from that. We'll see whether or not we can go on and hit that in the U.S. session. Take a look to see what we've got on the economic calendar for today. We did get German CPI data out about an hour ago, and that came in at up 0.4. French CPI, which came in 15 minutes ago, was actually down 0.1. And checking later on today, we do have CPI in the U.S. session. And let's see here. It looks to be about the big number then for today. CPI. That'll be out, of course, 8:30 Eastern. And let's go on and take a look at what we sit with the S&Ps. Still close to the highs up here. We're still hanging around here. It's on a 2-hour chart. Here we are on the daily. And we did go on and reach that 161% extension on Friday. It's actually exceeded it. Add on to more of it on yesterday. And we're just holding about here. Let's see where we stand here with the crude oil market. We've gently been going a little bit higher. We actually started out, you can see here, we opened up on the Sunday open right here at the highs at 74.79, right into resistance, and we just fell back all the way, just sub 73, just about what 73 and a quarter, I believe it was. I think that's where we actually had our support. And then you can see we rebounded, and we've just gently been going higher. It looks like we're trying to go back to 74, 79. We'll take a look where we are with FX. Just a quick overview. Euro just a tad bit weaker here this morning. Cable, same thing here. And into Aussie, we did push the upside towards the 75 cents, but still relatively quiet, and also just a tad bit lower. Dalian just eking out just a little bit higher. And just a tad bit higher here with the cash dollar index. Overall, not very much movement here. You can see here gold continues to languish and pretty much capped here at this 1818. We've been talking about that for the last few days. That 1818 is coming from the VWAP off of the March lows. You can see right here. And this was actually support in April, mid and latter part of April. Then as we came back off of those highs, it actually became resistance. And you can see how many times we bumped up against towards this 1818. And Bitcoin remains relatively quiet. With that, we're going to get started on the analysis. And we don't have much movement. So the euro spent Monday session within last Friday's range, closing lower for the session. Resistance for Tuesday remains 1901, followed by 1939, and support will be 1824. You can see we're dipping back towards here, and so no changes here. And yesterday's low was 1835, so we've got support here at 1824. No changes, still bearish overall. I don't think we're going to get many changes here as far as our support and resistance for today. Take a look where we are with cable. So cable broached the 39 level on Monday before slightly paring back, trading the session of Monday within a tight range. Resistance remains for today, 39.36. You can see here we're actually a little bit on the downside here, with support at 38.39. And that pretty much capped it yesterday, that 38.39. I believe the low was 38.40. So this is going to remain the same, no changes. We're in the dog days of summer and things are relatively quiet. Let's go and move on to the Aussie dollar. So the Aussie dollar found support at the end of last week, defending the weekly level 74.27. Resistance to, and this was incorrect right here. Someone had added and kind of messed up my, removed the little analysis things I had here. But the resistance you can see here, we pushed up against 75, but we were going to leave this the same, which was going to be 75.31 on the upside, and on the downside, we actually lowered that. Let me take a look here where I've gone to that low. I don't think we adjusted that a little bit lower. Hold on. No, we kept it the same, 74.52. I checked, it is still the same, 74.52 for the support. So with that, we'll move into the dollar yen. So the Dalian extended its gains on Monday, closing above 1030. Resistance for Tuesday will be 1053 with support at 1006. I've got for 1053, just a tad bit high. And the high today has been 1044. And with that, we're going to move into the cash dollar index. So the dollar index traded Monday in a tight range, closing slightly positive for the day. Support for Tuesday will be 91.78 with resistance at 92.53. Boy, we are in one heck of a tight range. And 92.53 is going to remain the same. Oh, and once we get past the analysis, we'll take a little bit closer look at the euro and the cable. Let's go on and now move into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin closed lower, stifled in a series of tight ranges over the last 2 weeks. You can see here, did close a little bit lower yesterday, but boy, are we in some tight ranges. Support for Tuesday will be 31,578 with resistance at 34,528. But we are just moving absolutely nowhere. I actually saw where it showed that on the different exchanges, Bitmaps and all these other crypto exchanges, that for June, the volume was down 40%. 40%. That was huge. We were just simply not going anywhere this market. Take a look at it on the 2-hour chart. Not much movement whatsoever. And we'll go and move into the S&Ps. So the S&P futures closed at another all-time high to start the week. Resistance will remain 43.88 with support at 43.43 followed by 43.27. So no changes here. You can see in the S&Ps 43.43, 43.88. Take a look here on the 2-hour chart, and we're just kind of just hanging around here. Still think we maybe just jump up rather quickly, although it did seem like we're kind of rotating back from Asia. Key level is going to be this 43.43. You can make the case there's a little bit here, but I'm not worried about that. The real support comes in at 43.43 at this point. I do see that the volume once again yesterday was very poor, so we still seem to be, like I said, just pushing higher and higher, but no volume to go on and power that. It's just squeeze. It just moves higher each day on low, very low volume. With that, we'll go and take a look where we are with the Nasdaq. Well, as I mentioned before, what we're eyeing, or what I believe the market's eyeing, is this 14,918. That's 161% extension of the February highs, which is just right around 14,000 spot, down to the March lows, which came in around 12,200. Look at that. And that's pretty significant right there, because that was a pretty good sizable drop from that high, all things being equal. That puts us at 14,918, and that's going to remain our, well, actually we had it before at 858. We'll upgrade this to just the 14,918. And on the downside, for right now, it's going to be 14,825. Followed by 14,783. Now we'll take a look at the gold market. So gold remains anchored to just below 1818. It was supported 1790. Resistance continues to be that 1818 with support specifically at 1896, although that range, as I said, is 1818 to 1790. You can see we took that dip. We didn't quite hit 1790, but around 92. But the resistance is going to remain the same, the 96 to 1818. The shiny metal does need, as it indicated yesterday, a daily close above 1824 to open a challenge to 1873. So if we can get a daily close above 1824, then first move can get us back up here towards 1873. And he can get there rather quickly, if we can get there. So no changes here. We've been trading a relatively quiet session yesterday across most of the markets. And let's go now to the crude oil market. So crude oil pushed higher on Monday, but finished the session with a negative close for the day. Resistance for Tuesday will be 74.59 with support of 73.97. You can see that 74.59, we're just above it right now. The key level's been this 74.79 here. That's actually where they ran out of gas on Monday. We're still keeping this thing on the bid. Look at that. They may want to go up here and press and take that out. So probably going to move that Let's see here. I can actually open that up a little bit higher. There might be some people that took them shorts here. We may want to press that a little bit higher. See if we can push much higher. That would put us at 74.97. I don't know that make it up there. It might. Let's take a look where we stand here. Well, this is interesting because that'll be the midpoint, 74.96, 75. That would have, and the midpoint, you see right here, the POC comes in at 75.13. They could blow some stops here. We got 74.96, 75.13. You know what? I think we will go with that. Just to be on the safe side, let's look for that in case we do make it up there. 75.13. And we'll come up with that 75.13. You see here, there's the pop. It's actually 75.11. We've got some pretty good resistance here between 74.96 up to there. 75.11. $74.96. That's $75.19. And we'll take a look at what that would be on a fib. It wouldn't quite be the 78%. And then for support, we had 73.97 and 73.55. That's a little bit low. Let's take a look here. We'll go back to the profile again. The midpoint yesterday was 73.76. Let's go with that. And there we go. Also take a look at where things stand here with the euro. Coming off of those lows just a little bit. We did have 1824. We traded it. Well, this is the future zone. So remember, the futures are trading at 17 pip premium. So 15, that's basically 1835 there. So not too far from what we had been looking at. And then, of course, with the cable. Wow, we're still continuing to drip lower in cable. Look at that. Still pressing those lows here. And actually, the futures only trading at a 4 pip premium to the cash. It's pretty good little slide here. Now we are looking, yesterday we had 38.39. For support. Look at that, we're still pressing back here. Take a look where we stand here on this 2-hour chart. $38.45. Low yesterday was right there. Probably look for that to hold in that 38.45 area here. And look how thin the volume it gets once we get down here. Would suggest that probably close to a low. And with that, there's a bias chart for today. We'll get that posted into the room. And thanks for joining us here on the European Crossover webinar.